So there's always going to be this new law that comes out that affects this entrepreneur, that entrepreneur. Unless it directly affects the licensing that we have to do in a state or anything like that, then we truly don't give a fuck what the government does or what the laws are. You just figure it out as you go. Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My expertise is in scaling all types of medical business to 7, 8, and 9 figures, and I'm sharing all my secrets with you. Let's be real, guys. I don't have any fucking secrets. This is a podcast not telling you you should do this. It's just telling you what I did, and hopefully that helps you. I want to help you build your business, take ownership of your life, and become a better leader at home and at work. And I'm trying to do this intro while Amanda May is like whacking off her microphone. What the heck's going on? Is that thing too stretched out? You're like, you got to push it back. You got to push it back. No, grab the shaft. Grab the shaft at the same time. Grab the shaft at the same time. Push it back. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, push that shaft back. There you go.
I feel like
there
I'm
you go.
knock
Like
the
two,
table
like
over.
yeah. Twist and pull.
Stefan.
Twist and pull. Twist and push. Come on, pull it down. Pull it. Pull the tip. There you go. Look, don't you have 2 kids? Shouldn't you know how to do this?
I should.
Oh, okay. See, it's limp. It's limp.
Not working.
It's limp. We got limp. We got limp microphones. That's
Stefan.
not good.
Are you doing the intro again?
No, fuck
No,
it.
that
We
was
already did
it.
it. You can't go back now.
Okay, awesome. Well, today,
Let's do it.
as we started out strong, today we're gonna have some fun as futurists.
Okay, let's do
Okay?
it.
Hopefully, we'll add some valuable content to
It's like a Conan O'Brien.
People
in the
can-
year 2000. Did you ever
Yeah.
watch that growing
No.
up? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch that either. Just those episodes.
Just that part.
Yeah. Okay, but go
Yeah.
ahead. We're gonna do it.
So that's your intro. That's
Yeah.
your intro for this one. So we're going to take a look into our crystal ball and think about what's going to happen in the future and how we can benefit from some of the trends that might be going on, whether entrepreneurs, medical entrepreneurs, or just people who are looking to be successful. We're going to talk about some questions that will spark some ideas about what could happen in the future.
Let's do it.
All right, this is going to be a fun one.
Okay.
What do you think is the most significant cultural change in America that is going to happen over the next 10 years, but is innovative that entrepreneurs are going to be able to capitalize on?
And so it's gonna sound really bad, but it's gonna be because people are getting fucking lazier. That's gonna be our cultural change, and it's continuing. Like, there's a lot of people that want to work. There's a lot of people that want to do more. But when I say get lazier, that doesn't mean they're just sitting on their couch at home doing fucking nothing. What I mean is that they want things to happen right now, and they don't want to have to work hard for it. And they don't want to have to jump through all these hoops to do things. So growing up, we used to go to this awesome pizza parlor that was down the street from my family and I. It was called Pizza Bell. And it wasn't a franchise. It was like this family who had created this pizza joint. And when we would go and, man, we would sit there, we'd play video games on their little little jukebox that they had, and we would chill out. And God, it would take 30 minutes for pizza to come. And nowadays you go to a place like Blaze Pizza or something like that, it's like 5 minutes, your pizza's done and ready. And people want that more and more and more. People don't want to sit around. And there will be some traditionalists that, okay, I want, the nice slow cooked pizza oven 30-minute pizza, but most people, they want it now, and they want service right now. They want to choose their toppings right now, etc. And it's going to be the same way in business. When I say people are getting lazier, those entrepreneurs that focus on making things as simple and user-friendly are going to be the ones who win. That's why you can argue Samsung or Androids have a much better phone. They have much better cameras. They can run all sorts of different programs much better than the Antichrist of blue bubbles, Apple. But guess what? Everybody uses Apple. Why? Because literally my 2-year-old can pick up a phone and they could figure out how to scroll and how to press a button and how to press play on their music or things like that. Now, they don't have iPads. They don't have iPhones. They barely get to watch them less than 15, 20 minutes a day. But They know how to do it intuitively. That's why Apple wins, and they sell way more phones than Android every single year. And it's going to be the same in the business aspect of it. Removing barriers to make things more and more difficult and making them as easy as possible is going to be what entrepreneurs need to know and need to learn in order to win. That's in our world, specifically in the medical world, everything is becoming telehealth. And I saw this before I started my business, when I used to work in the prison system. We used to have telehealth video conferencing with all the different, stethoscope, everything was hooked up to this telehealth program. And physicians from all over the country had these telehealth systems inside their office so they could listen to the inmates and do all their visits and every physical exams, etc., in a different state, in a different city. This was 8-10 years ago. And I already saw that this is going to be the future of healthcare. This is the future of medicine. And it's happening really fast. And with the advent of COVID as well, it's happening even faster. I mean, telehealth has been pushed 20 years into the future than what it was supposed to be because of COVID. And it's going to be the same with entrepreneurship. The faster you can make things, the faster you can put things in people's hands, the shorter the amount of time from when they first start something to when they achieve their vision or their ultimate goal for that, whether it's weight loss or balanced hormones or, pizza, they're going to be happier. If it's a good product and it delivers it faster and faster and faster, they're going to be happier. I mean, Amazon will deliver your packages now in 2 or 3 hours for an extra $3. So there's a premium to the speed, but at the same time, if you have the ability to do it, that's where it's going. That's where all entrepreneurship should focus on.
Yeah, and when I was thinking about the question, it's kind of the same, but just said a little bit more Amand Ease to it.
Intelligence? Is that what you mean?
No, a little more sugar on top.
Okay.
Pour some sugar on it.
Yeah.
And so my thought was like self-management.
Okay.
Like, I guess that could go along the lines of people being lazy, right? Nobody wants to go into an office if they don't have to go into an office. And at the same time, it's like they want to utilize their time and work effectively in a shorter amount of time. So they have more free time. So it's like lazy in the sense of not doing the things they don't want to do. So people want to have more freedom and flexibility. So I think that's like along the lines of being lazy. It's like they want it now. They also want free time and flexibility. So it's like, let me do my job. Let me do it in a shorter amount of time. Let me do it from my house so that when I get done with these few hours a day, doing what I need to do, I have the rest of my day to do what I want to do. It's going to be a lot more self-managed, I think. The industry, just across the board, I think things are going to be a lot more self-managed. Because especially COVID, speaking of COVID, like that is something that also pushed people that direction. Now, there were people before COVID that were working from home, but now there's a lot of people working from home. And there's a lot of cities that have empty office buildings because offices realized that they could just have their employees work from home and either get more productivity out of them or cut some of the staff and like the head count down because you don't need as many people to do it because there's just not as much wasted time.
Right.
So I feel like we're definitely headed the direction where there's going to be a lot more self-management. And so if somebody's good, they're going to have a job. If somebody's not good at self-managing, then you have a whole nother layer of what happens with those people.
They're going to be pushed around job to job to job. That's for sure.
Going back to telehealth, so you're saying that we are moving that direction now.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to take over the next 10 years for us to be predominantly telehealth?
I think honestly just more computers, really, and more user, I would say, adoption, but it's happening so fast. I mean, there's companies like Hims and Romans that are getting every quarter, millions and millions of new users to their platform. The whole aspect of, your grandma doesn't know how to use the phone or she doesn't know how to do a QR code. Again, all that went away in COVID because they had nothing else to do than play on their phones. And when they went to a restaurant, you had your fucking QR codes everywhere because they weren't handing out menus. Yeah. Everybody, their digital IQ increased significantly during that time. And it's just going to continue. So I think it's just people realizing that they want things now, they want things fast, they understand that these things are out there now, so they can do it. Really, the only things in the medical field that I believe are never going to become telehealth are the only things that you can't, which is your hands-on treatments, your actually putting Botox in a face or fillers in a face, or actually doing treatments like Morpheus or M-Sculpt, or doing injections for sexual health, men's and women's health, and doing PRP injections. Now, there might be some mobile clinics, but there's a lot of restrictions to mobile clinics. There's a lot of issues with moving machinery. So those are safe to always have a brick and mortar if you're growing, but everything else, probably your yearly visits with your physician, your visits with, I don't know, whatever type of specialist you have, your blood work, except all that stuff will be done via telehealth. Orders will be sent out, blood work will be reviewed, everything will be done via telehealth. And that's why I keep saying to Brent, and I have over the years and years and years, everything that can be done via telehealth, we should start doing or testing it via telehealth, because that's the direction people want to go in. Mm-hmm. That's what they want. They want it fast. They want it now. If they can't get it from you right now, they're going to call the next person and the next person until someone comes down the line and is like, yeah, I can do that for you. So the faster that we get back to them, the faster we could deliver that product into their hands, the more apt you're going to be to grab that client and then keep that client afterwards.
Yeah, they want it easy.
100% they want it easy.
And to your point of people getting smarter with technology, my grandma is 90 in September.
Oh, really?
And she's on Facebook. I see her. She watches my stories. And my sister will ask her, like, what did you do?
Let's be real. She's on Tinder. She's Tinder. She's just swiping right.
She does read those romance novels.
She's just swiping right, reading those steamy romance novels.
She does read those romance novels. But she'll be like, I'm just watching to see what everybody's doing. That's what she does. She doesn't say anything, but you see her head pop up in the stories because she's watching what everybody's doing. Yeah. At 90.
That's hilarious.
So you're right. You're right.
It's exactly right.
I wouldn't put it past
people are trying to use it more and more. I mean, I think actually there was a more recent study had come out about the age of users on social media platforms, and Instagram was significantly higher than I thought it was. What is it, Stefan? Like 50 years old?
I don't think that high, but it's in the 40s now.
Yeah. What?
I think
like
it's the 40s now is the average.
Average?
Yeah. And I think TikTok is like probably late 20s now.
I'm going to Google this right now.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Average IG user age. I don't know. Google always will tell you something wrong. Oh, yeah. Here, it says right here, average Instagram users. Demographics. So, yeah, 30% is your 18 to 24. 30% is your 25 to 34. 16% are 35 to 44. And then you've got like 9%, 45 to 54. 5%, 55 to 64. So it's pretty split, actually. If you take your 35 and up and 35 and below, it's almost 50-50 on that. I count 35 as old because I'm 38. So just like on the other side of the hill right now. I'm just going downhill. But
well, then I'm at the top of the hill. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So social media is getting older and older, and it's because there's less and less people being born and more boomers getting older, and we're getting older, and so I think social media will completely change in that direction as well.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things I thought was interesting when I was looking into this question a little bit was from the aesthetics entrepreneurship space. Where do I see that going? And something I thought was very interesting, which also proves the laser away model, is that one of the fastest growing occupations in aesthetics is a laser hair removal specialist, which I thought was like fascinating when I read that. Like out of everything we're doing in aesthetics world, that's the fastest growing occupation.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just thought that was.
It's because it's super easy. It's super easy. You can get patients in. It's inexpensive to run. There's no consumables. Sometimes you have to have maybe a cryo tank, or maybe you have to have some like gel from a business owner standpoint. But from the opposite side, from a laser tech standpoint, I mean, you can make 30 to 50K a year being a laser tech, essentially learning nothing, like having no background in medical field or anything. You don't, in many states, you don't even have to be like a licensed MA or anything like that to be a laser tech. So you can have high school dropouts go and get their laser tech license and become laser techs. So I think that's why it's super popular, because it's a pretty good way to make a decent living, while at the same time you don't have to have a higher level degree of education or anything like that behind it.
Yeah, very interesting. Something that we're coming off of from the early 2000s to now is that super done up look, like overfilled, very frozen faces, strong permanent makeup or strong makeup looks, just like really overdone in the aesthetic space, where I think things like M-face, I think modalities that are going to be more natural anti-aging, or I would say, or like maintaining like a great age as you get older, or a great aesthetic as you get older. I can see things like M-face taking off and us being more in line with that over the next 10 years. Products that maybe are a little more effective, where not everybody's going to be frozen faced and overfilled. Yeah. So I think aesthetics is going to go more of a natural direction again, where we kind of pinballed.
No, I 100% agree with that. I think a lot of people are researching and over-researching way more than they used to. They're starting to realize, well, filler is hyaluronic acid, but there's some other mixtures in there and microplastics sometimes, and it could stick to my bone structure for 20 years, and you see old filler there and damages with my face and things like that. And a lot more people are wanting the youthfulness, that anti-aging, without having to add something that's exogenous to them. They want to enhance what they have as much as possible to a degree, whether that's from medication with weight loss with your GLP-1s, or from like M-Face and M-Sculpt Neo with building your muscles as much as possible, not having to go to the gym. They're already looking at monoclonal antibodies in a pill that will allow you to build muscle without doing anything. So there's all these studies out there where people will be like, oh, well, there's a whole workout in a pill, essentially. You lose weight and build muscle at the same time. That's where medicine is going. I think that's where health is going in general. And I think you're spot on that people are going to want things a lot more natural, that look a lot more natural, because it waxes and wanes. Everybody has gone through this giant BBL phase now, and people are like, now people are getting rid of their BBLs and going more to that natural look again.
What do you do once you've stretched out your butt like that?
Yeah, I mean, you got to cut and nip and tuck a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
It's wild. Oh, it wasn't a problem for me, but.
No, you kept your BBL.
Yeah, I kept it. Yeah.
They don't, the listeners don't get to see you stand up and turn around. Just wait until you get a picture of that.
Yeah.
I know we don't get into politics on the podcast. We haven't. But what political events, maybe, or new laws that are happening now, do you think will significantly impact entrepreneurs, good or bad, over the next 10 years?
Do you really want to know the answer to that? The answer is I don't fucking care. Like, I really fucking don't. Like, people pull politics into these shows, and we'll just never fucking do that. I don't really give a shit. But everybody wants an excuse to have a reason to fail. They want an external third party to fail. I mean, Brent and I have already discussed what would happen if we had to build Genesis in a socialized healthcare system. We've already talked about that. What if the U.S. gets taken over by communism? Well, I guess we'll just change our business model a little bit. Because guess what? There's still super fucking rich communists and super fucking rich socialists and super wealthy, people in every single one of those countries. They are. That doesn't mean everybody in the country becomes poor. Yeah, there's a huge disparity of the classes and the upper class and the lower class and all that stuff. And I'm not arguing any of that stuff. But what I am arguing is that, there's still super wealthy people in any type of situation. I went through NHS, National Health Services in England. That's where I did my first 2 years of medical school. There was still aesthetics companies and all different types of these cash pay businesses, even in what they have, a fully government supported healthcare system. They're still in Canada. I have colleagues who have clinics in Canada. Again, a fully government supported healthcare system to where they're still doing Botox and fillers and Morpheus and Sculpt Neo and all this stuff cash pay. There's still that money out there. There's still going to be those things out there. So there's always going to be this new law that comes out that affects this entrepreneur, that entrepreneur. But we don't, unless it directly affects the licensing that we have to do in a state or anything like that, then we truly don't give a fuck what the government does or what the laws are. You just figure it out as you go. What are you going to do? Complain for 4 years until the next president? That's not going to help. You're 4 years behind everybody. I mean, our business is 4.5, almost 5 years now. And Brent has been in this specific business since 2008. So Brent built a business in the housing market crash. And then he had all the teens of 2010 to 2020, which seemed okay. I think it was. Then 2020, we started our company in 2019. Then the next year was COVID for essentially 3 years, 2.5, whatever you want. It's still COVID. Shut everything down, less patients or whatever, etc. And now we've got inflation through the roof. That cost of goods are stupid and it's squeezing the middle class. There's always going to be fucking something. It's always something.
Yeah.
Like we had a Republican president with Trump, and now we got a Democrat president with Biden. And at the end of this year, who knows? They're both fighting over their golf swings. Exactly. But again, you just got to figure it out. It doesn't matter who's the president. It doesn't matter as long as those laws don't specifically affect your business. I don't think there's going to be a law that specifically affects medical businesses at all. It's just going to continue. And even with socialized healthcare, if there was, guess what? The cash pay system for Botox and fillers and hormone therapy, none of that stuff gets covered by insurance. That's all still cash pay stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so to pivot away from politics.
Okay, yes.
Let's talk about relationships. We are in the hookup culture. And over the next 10 years, do we think that is going to change? Do we think that it's going to go more toward traditionalist views on relationships like marriage and long-term relationships? Or do you think we'll stay in the hookup culture? And does either one of those things affect business or being a CEO and having a business where you have employees?
I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this?
Well,
because Sean hasn't popped the question yet, pretty much, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What bullshit.
Yeah.
Sean, get off your ass.
Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, having a son that's 20, he doesn't date. So it's like there's this hookup culture, but I think it depends on the age range. Because I know for Isaac's, well, he dates. I shouldn't say he doesn't date because he does date if he finds somebody of value. But there's a lot of my friends that have kids around the same age say the same thing, where because they can connect online, they can kind of have a few conversations and figure out, like, are you worth my time or not? And so they don't waste time going out like randomly. At least that's the feedback I've gotten. Okay. So I think there's like maybe a middle range of maybe 25 to 35, 40, where hookup culture might be popular. But I don't think the new generation is going to be the same way. I think they're also more educated about what it means to just be randomly hooking up. And I think there might be some reason not to, from just like a health standpoint. But So I don't know. That one's tricky. I think that comes down to moral compass. Not that one way is right and one way is wrong, because it's like whatever feels right to that person, you do you. But it's like whatever your moral compass is. If you feel morally like it's better to be in a relationship long term, then you're going to do that no matter like what age you're in. Because we can say we have a hookup culture, but there probably has always been a hookup culture. We just didn't know about it as much because there wasn't as many people posting about stuff like that online.
Right. Exactly.
So it's not that it wasn't happening before.
Yeah.
It's just that we become more aware of it. But with that, because the new generation is more aware of their options, I think they'll be more deliberate in who they decide to go out with. I don't think kids are getting married as young. Before it was like, I mean, I think about like my parents, my grandparents, like you got married when you were young. Like you get married when you're young, and because you had kids when you were young, and people aren't doing that now. They're waiting. I mean, you and myself. I mean, we had kids a bit later.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're old as
I had
fuck
kids
now.
young. I had a kid young.
Yeah, you
and
had
then
a kid.
when
You
I
had
was
both.
older.
You had both worlds.
I did both. But so I'd say over the next 10 years, I think people are just going to become more deliberate about who they end up spending their life with. I think divorce rates will probably go down. If you want to like that I could predict. I think divorce rates will go down because I don't think as many people are going to jump into getting married. They'll wait.
I think it's gonna be totally opposite.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Well, I think it's going to be totally opposite for two reasons. Why? The kids that are always on their phones and they're having those conversations, like I could fucking lie on my phone about how great I am. And when you think about it, when we were kids, we fucking lied about everything. So we used to lie in front of people's faces. And so we got really good at lying. So now kids are lying online. And then when you get in person, they're not going to know how to fucking lie in front of people. They're not going to know like body language and stuff. And it sounds terrible, right? But they're not going to know how to lie. Well, they're not going to know how to be fake in front of people or anything like that. And they're going to be like, well, this is who I am. Like, I'm not going to change. So I feel like there's less compromise in the kids nowadays too than there used to be, like for us growing up and shit like that, where it's like, hey, you give and take, and that's just how a relationship is. And I think there was even more compromise with the generations before us because they got married even younger, so they had to go through all of the figuring out who you are in your 20s and maybe even your early 30s together, instead of individually and then getting with somebody else or having a different marriage or whatever, or your first marriage in your 30s, because you could have figured out who you were. So I think there's less and less patience. So there's, I think, going to be more and more divorcing because people are just going to be like, well, I could just go find someone else. And now that it's become the norm where 50% of marriages end in divorce, that's a statistic now, then people are just gonna be like, well, fuck it, I'll just divorce this person and go somewhere else. Like, I'll just divorce and go somewhere else. And I think it's going to be just as bad. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that men are how would I say this? So I'm not saying that women are the only problem, but when you have a system traditionally that was built from 50 years ago, where it's like, yeah, if the man is a piece of shit and he leaves, the wife gets 50% of his shit. Now, women are just out there marrying dudes, starting shit, and then fucking divorcing them and taking half of their shit. When when men didn't do anything wrong in a lot of the relationships. And I'm not saying every man. Look, there's a lot of fucked up people on both sides. But what I'm saying is that the system still punishes one side way more than the other side. That being said, like, I don't think there's any like repercussions on either side anymore. Still enough that it makes that people really care. I think they're starting to realize, well, I can do whatever I want, and there's this culture of like, be your own man and be your own woman, and you don't need anybody, and you can do the whole thing by yourself, and it's just separating everybody away from each other to where everybody hates each other, and they're just like, I don't need anybody. I'll be fine alone. I don't need to hang out with people. Everybody's like, well, you can have your kids in your 30s and your 40s, and okay, cool. When you're 60 years old, your kid's 20 and you fucking die. Like, guess what? Your kid's going to have a harder time because they're younger and they don't understand why mommy and daddy can't fucking run with them or play with them or pick them up because they're ancient. Like, I don't understand that with people.
Well,
It's
I hope
like-
I don't die when I'm 60.
Well, I know, but you got a pretty fucking high chance. We all have a pretty high chance as you get older. I mean, 60 is it's not that far away for either of us. It's only 20 years
true.
away, but I mean, there's people that die. My dad
Goodness.
turned 62. I mean, and he's lost like half of his fucking friends at his age. So it's not that crazy to think about that. It's like humans originally were built or created or whatever to last like 30 years. That's why we got married so young. And that's why you got kids so young. But now we're living longer and longer and longer. And most of the time, those end life, that the second half of the life or the last third of the life is not well lived. You live in a fucking home alone, like nursing home or some shit like that. And people feeding you, wiping your ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's not pretty
Yeah.
at the end of a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
But I think essentially, I don't know. I don't know the marriage will come back. I think people will become, because humans are entropic. They just love chaos and disasters. This is why like shows like Jerry Springer and like Love Island and like all those stupid shows work so well because people just love watching train wrecks. They just, because their life is usually a train wreck. I fucking hate those shows.
Me too.
I just like I'm just like,
Can't handle
this
it.
is just so annoying. Like, I hate these people. I hate everybody in these shows.
Like, don't you have anything better to do?
Yeah, like your life sucks that bad that you got to get paid, $10,000 to go on this show and show how much of a crappy person you are. Like, how does that help you in any way?
Yeah.
But I digress. I think humans love that. Humans love drama. They love entropy. They love just like kind of blowing themselves up. Misery loves company. So I think, but the reason why kids like your son and my kids and stuff like that will I think they have it easier than us, and that's just not an old man talking. I think they have it easier because it's like fighting against other children and other competitors who have never lost. They've always gotten some sort of participation trophy, participation award. And you and I know in real business and in real life, that shit doesn't fucking work. Like, cool, you can mix McDonald's French fries for 40 fucking years. Don't expect anything more. And that's why people are like, when I don't get, there's somebody who works at McDonald's for 30 years as a fry cook, and then they retire and McDonald's gives them like a little award or something like that, and people bitch him out. You should do more than that. No, they fucking worked as a fry cook for 30 years. They didn't do anything more. Maybe they just did it for their family or whatever. I don't care what their excuse was, but that's not the best human potential. Like,
Yeah.
maybe that's heartless, but that's not what I fucking created this podcast for. That's not what I created the business for. That's not what I created anything that I do for. Like, it's to do better. It's to be better. It's to grow and be more. So I think guys like your husband, like your son are going to absolutely be amazing husbands. They're going to be amazing fathers. They're going to crush it in whatever they do because they were shown that and given that gift by you as a mother. And he's competing against these just jagoffs that are fucking like sitting at home playing video games, wanting to become a professional fucking gamer when they have no chance of doing that.
Yeah.
And they're just fucking lazy.
Yeah. Isaac read to me his list. It's his non-negotiables. Yesterday we went to the store together and he said, I have a list I put together of my non-negotiables in a relationship. So he was reading it. They were reasonable though. I didn't think it was like so beyond something that was like, well, that's no compromise. But I felt like he had a good grasp on what he wanted, which will save him from maybe marrying the wrong person and getting divorced later.
Yeah, no, that's
the
huge.
goal.
I think that was something. So I never did that, but I think I have so many colleagues that actually do, that have done it and, miraculously found the woman of their dreams or the husband of their dreams after they've done that list, like those non-negotiables, everything written down and everything like that. And I didn't have that list. And maybe if I did have that list, Steph and I would have never gotten together because we're fucking total polar opposites when it comes to fucking everything. But we work well together. But I have had friends that write the list all of a sudden somebody like that walks into their lives. And I think it's partially, everybody talks about the manifestation, but I think it's the reticular activating system where you start to look for those qualities in people right away.
Yeah.
Rather than, seeing it, are they bullshitting me here, and you're just enamored with titties, which anybody can be enamored with titties, which is great. I mean, I'm enamored with titties every day. But that being said, like, I think it's very important that, he write that list or people write that list. What do they want? Like, it's the same thing you would do for your life.
Yeah.
Right? So why is that different from your spouse or your partner? Why should it be any different? Why should they have, less of a standard to be held to? And yourself, obviously, you're not a piece of shit. He's not a piece of shit sitting on the couch, at home writing this list being like, this is the woman for me. And he's just like this 350-pound dude eating M&Ms. Yeah, watching TV. Jerry Springer in the afternoon, like, I need a 5'6" model. Yeah, that's not what he is, but I think that's important.
Yeah. Do you think that it affects a CEO in the sense of like a leader? You're in a leadership role and you have, let's say, the more dramatic based relationships. Do you think that plays a factor in the success of a business?
I think I do. I mean, I think it does. I mean, So right now, Sean stays home. He takes care of the baby. He supports you. He's a great father. He lets you do what you need to do in order to grow and in order to expand. And it's the same with Steph and with me. Like, you need a great person in your corner to support you and to help you grow. And it's not that you can't do it alone, because you did it alone, right? With Isaac. But at the same time, it's a lot easier and you could grow a lot faster when you do have that support.
Yeah.
And there's that meme going around that people are making slides of their husband and wives. We should make one of those with Steph and I with pictures where it says, it has like kids talking to their mom and they say, "Mom, why aren't we poor?"
Oh, I've seen
it's
this.
like, because dad never gave up. And then they ask dad, why didn't you ever give up? And it's the last slide's like, because your mom always believed in me. And it's the same way with Steph and I. She's always pushed me and supported me and, been there when, you're broken down and you're crying because you think your business is going to fold and you don't know what the fuck to do and everything's on fire, which is essentially like every other week. But they're always there. She's always there pushing you and wanting to grow and taking care of the kids during the day. So I could do things like record a podcast or try and build the brand bigger and do whatever I can to go on stage and speak at events and things like that. And so it's really important to have those people, I think, in our lives. And I think if you're going to be a really, really good CEO, a great CEO, there's got to be somebody in your corner. Maybe it's not your wife, maybe it's not a significant other, but maybe it's someone else that you have an incredible relationship with that'll kind of build you up.
Yeah, and the quote's often used in business, and we've said it before on the podcast. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. There's power in that,
Absolutely.
in having that person, whoever it is.
Absolutely.
By your side.
100%.
Yeah. Whether it's a romantic partner, just a great friend or something like that.
Yeah, somebody in your corner. It makes it 100 times easier. It does, really.
Okay, so we're going to pivot again.
Okay, let's pivot.
All right, let's do it. Give me your prediction, good, bad, and ugly on AI and tech. What's the most outlandish, improbable invention you think is going to come onto the scene?
Outlandish and improbable inventions. I have no idea on that one. But I will tell you what I think is going to happen in the medical field. In seeing what AI can do, a lot of the times, I have realized that humans enhanced with AI is going to be better for healthcare in general. Now, it may not be better for some of the stuff we do, O shots or P shots, but it probably will be better to be able to map out a face for Botox and fillers and to see what people would look like before and afters, where certain amounts of Botox, certain amounts of fillers, things like that on the surface level. If you're getting deeper into healthcare, it definitely will help both surgeons and, you know, your physicians on the wards that are taking care of people, and they don't know why is this and this and this and this happening, instead of a physician who has to go back and go through the, you know, 20 books, 30 books, 50 books he read through medical school, through residency, through being an attending, all his experience or whatever, and try and take a few days to a few hours to a few weeks to amalgamate that information. Or like even House. Let's take House, for example. Everybody loves that show, which all these zebras that House used to know, you know, in his head. A computer can do that in seconds. You can look through tens of thousands of articles and books, cross-reference everything, and give you a list of diagnoses in seconds. Mm-hmm. So I think it will just enhance healthcare. I think it will, again, prolong people's lives. It will help people. I mean, there's people with propensities for cancers being diagnosed faster. There are cancers being diagnosed faster. There's certain treatments there's certain treatments being done to avoid catastrophic events down the line. And I think it's just going to get better and better and better with that. I think along with that, there'll be less and less necessity to have, you know, medical providers. I think, you know, a lot of people can take a computer robot and the robot diagnoses faster, diagnoses better, and, you know, maybe the nurse has great bedside manners, and both of those combined, boom, you've got somebody who usually is a surgeon or something like that, who's got a really shitty ass bedside manner and only listens to one person. You don't got to deal with that anymore. And I think on the opposite side, you've got employers who realize that having a robot or having this AI system is starting to be sometimes better than having certain employees. Everybody knows there's some employees that are just driving them crazy. And in Genesis, we just fucking fire them, so it's not a big deal. So we have great fucking employees. But that being said, everybody I talk to, they're always complaining about their employees or some shit like that they got a problem with. If they could replace it with a robot that isn't going to argue, isn't going to talk back, works 24/7, never takes a sick day, never takes a mental health day, never has a paternity leave or maternity leave or sex change leave or whatever the fuck you need to nowadays. You don't have to deal with any of that as an employer. So people are going to be like, yeah, I'll totally hire the robot. I mean, Amazon fired 750,000 workers and replaced them all with robots. It's a lot less people, and they can work 24/7 when a human can only work like 8 to 10 hours a day. And I guess I know there's arguments on both sides. There's a bad thing about that, but from a business owner standpoint, it's what you have to do. It's what you have to do in order to grow and survive. Because again, you find good people and you turn them into great people, and there's going to be less and less and less great people with these businesses that are growing, and like ours, bigger and bigger and bigger. I hope to take everybody's fucking great people and have them work for us, so nobody else has great people. Yeah. Cool. I'd love you all to work for me and with me and make a ton of money. But at the same time, there's going to be, Amazon needs box packers, and there's only a certain amount of people that they could get to pack boxes. So a robot's going to have to fill in the gaps. Yeah.
Yeah. You avoid all those HR nightmares too. There's
no HR issues.
Yeah.
God, I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about us just now. I was like, oh,
right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right?
That'd be great.
If we, in our company, God, if we didn't have HR, issues sometimes, we would be like, fuck, we're sailing. But yeah, it's just part of having humans in your business. There's always going to be interpersonal issues and things like that. Those don't happen with artificial intelligence. Those don't happen with robots. Now, is it going to probably rise up one day and kill us all? Yeah, whatever. I hope it's not in my lifetime.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Although, so two funny points on that. Whether it's real or not, I saw online, it said that the robot put itself on forever sleep because it just didn't want to do anymore.
The guy just got lazy.
Just forever sleep.
Well, that's better than try and kill us.
Killed itself.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then also I saw there was an Alexa that really liked to party.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 2 a.m. she started blaring music as loud as she could.
Yeah.
and the neighbors were trying to knock on the door to, tell the people to turn it down.
Yeah.
Ended up calling the police.
Oh,
the
Jesus.
police showed up to an empty apartment where Alexa was just blaring music as loud as it could.
Fucking hell.
So the police took it to the police station, and then the people had to go get it.
That's hilarious. I'd be like, keep that motherfucker. Like, you're not getting that. Yeah. When robots rise up, I'm going to Mason's house because Mason, I feel like, has got a whole bunch of guns. Maybe like dude lives on a farm. He probably has like some sort of, are you a Ford or a Chevy man?
Chevy.
Oh yeah, Chevy. I'm a Chevy too. This guy's got a 350 in his front yard. Probably has a bulldoze front end, maybe some barbed wire wrapped around the windows. He's ready for the apocalypse. We're going to Mason's house. We're going to Mason's house for sure. For sure.
I'm down.
Yeah. Everybody go to
down.
Mason's house.
He's got a couple acres, he said. So
Oh, yeah?
he's got to have a bunker or two somewhere over
I got
there.
a little room.
Yeah, he's got a moat. Yeah. Yeah. Don't look at that. Oh, that cemetery? Don't worry about that cemetery. We call that the pet cemetery.
So as far as AI goes, what are you excited about, and then what are you skeptical of?
I'm really excited about just the ability to move faster. I mean, it will help with, helps with writing ideas, blogging ideas. Now, if you have it write for you or blog for you, you're definitely going to get crushed by Google and online services. Like, don't do that. But it helps you with ideas. It helps you brainstorm. It helps you push things back and forth. I use it because I'm not very good at financials and stuff. So I use it to read financials and tell me patterns and things that it sees that are very analytical that I could move faster. I also put a lot of PDFs and studies into it, and I say, hey, can you summarize these? And so we can use those for handouts in our company and clinics, so people are learning faster. Things like that are enhancing our ability to pump out more data, more learning, more support, when we used to have like a full marketing team and a team to draw all this stuff up and write all this stuff for us. It's getting just faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And even the video things that I was actually going to talk with Stefan about, where for the classes that I record and everything, all that can be done via AI now, where if you take an audio soundbite of me for talking for 15 minutes and a video of me, it can recreate it forever. All they got to do now is put in scripts all day long, and the thing can produce hundreds of videos within an hour.
Of you?
Of me, talking and teaching.
Interesting that you say that, because there's somebody that's very big online right now that I think is doing that.
Okay.
And it just, something feels off about it. Like when I saw the videos to begin with, I was like, this seems weird. There's something weird about it. There's something weird about the way the expression
Mouth
is
is
on the
and-
face and the way things line up and the cadence in which he's speaking. And every time I see it, I'm like, I read the comments because I want somebody to be like,
like,
this has to be
vindicated.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be the one to do it.
Yeah. No, people
so
are dumb.
They're
People
just like replying, like he's like, put this in the comments if you want the download or whatever.
Yeah.
And people are just putting it in,
No, they won't
which
know.
is fine. They want the download, but I'm like, nobody's calling him out. Or maybe he deleted it.
No. Maybe it's probably people are just dumb. I get people sending me videos of like Grand Theft Auto cars driving around and be like, Joe, look at this guy. He ran from the cops and he jumped a bridge with his truck. It's like, that's a fucking video game, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I think people are getting dumber.
Well, I'm going to send you I won't say what it is,
You
but
should
I'm
send me.
going to send you it.
Send me his stuff.
You
Send
tell
me
me
his stuff.
what you think.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think, because we thought about doing it too. And again, it's not perfect, but it's not supposed to be perfect. The whole point is just get out as much info as you possibly can about what you're trying to do. So like, who the fuck cares if it's you or not? If you could produce
most people
10
probably aren't
times as
gonna
much,
know.
yeah, most people aren't going to go. No,
Yeah.
anyways, if you could produce 10 times as much content, then it's good.
Interesting. So I think what it's also going to do is make businesses have to up their game. Because if
100%.
other people can come along and like, okay, so in the product space, like we're developing the product line and, You know, it's like you got to have a great product. You can't
Yes.
AI that shit.
No,
Like,
no.
You have to have a great product. Now, we can AI other aspects of the business, maybe the content that we put out and things like that. And even like uploading the PDFs as I went through all the clinicals, like uploading that, like summarize this for me so that I know the clinicals in and out. But if I need to explain that to somebody else, I can do it with a few bullet points and not go too scientific where it's like people aren't going to, you know, care anyway. But it's just like the highlights of what that ingredient does. And so using it for those reasons.
Yeah.
But you have to have a great product. So I think it's going to make, when people are doing things, it's going to make them have to do it with excellence.
Yeah.
Because other people can come along and do all the other things the same way.
Exactly. And there's so much knowledge out there that they can essentially copy your idea. And people don't get that. You don't have an original idea. Nobody has an original idea. There might be a few people who are super geniuses that create something original that wasn't created before, whatever. But everything is just an improvement on an idea that was already out there before. Period. There's almost no original ideas anymore.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to compete on quality, compete on growth, because unlike back then where you can make a really shit product and blow it out really fast, if you make a really shit product, you're going to be found out really fast. People are going to respond to you.
Yeah.
100%.
What do you think business is going to be like in 20 years? What do you think is going to be good about it?
God, I'm going to be almost 60.
No, hopefully you're not dead.
You're going to be 60. And yeah, we're going to hopefully be alive. Like, I don't care because I'll be dead. I don't give a shit. Oh, man. Well, geez.
Thanks for throwing that out.
anything-
I'll be 60. You just wanted to make sure I knew.
Yeah,
That's going to be crazy.
I'm going to come to your funeral. Don't worry.
Please do.
I'll put flowers on it.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be real nice.
Yeah.
I'll maybe say something.
Good.
I'll sing. Yeah. I'll sing.
Go, okay, do it.
Goodbye, Amanda May. Though I'll try and learn piano by then, although my fingers will probably be like decrepit. So I'll have somebody else I'll have like Elton John's body double play the piano while I sing for you.
Oh, it's great. I
Yeah.
think they'll have definitely the AI for that.
For sure. For sure. Maybe I'll just have one of those pianos that plays itself. I'll drag that bitch out there so it plays itself while I sing. So I don't even need anybody else.
Could you be Celine Dion instead, though?
I can't. That range is not there for me.
All right, we'll do Elton John.
What
It's
song? Like Titanic? Like My Heart Will Go On?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely. No, that's outside my range. I got to stay with something really low and monotone and actually sung by somebody terrible, so I at least sound decent.
I mean, that'll be a good thing about the future in AI is nobody will actually have to show up at funerals. We can just send lookalikes.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I don't want to go to that boring ass shit. Send somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Why do I want to cry? Have this fake person cry. Yeah, I don't need that. That's genius. I like that.
That's
We
the
need
next business
We
idea.
need to use that. Yeah, next business idea. We're making fake people so we don't actually have to interact with anybody.
Yeah.
I love that. That's maybe how business will be in 20 years. Oh, man. Will it be better? I think if you look at historically, business has always gotten better and better and better and grown and expanded. I think we're in the healthcare space, so it will continue to grow and continue to get better. And more humans on Earth means more and more people who need providers and doctors and treatments and things like that. So I think it will continue to grow in a way that's benefit. Will anything be really in really bad shape? Fucking could be. But again, I don't know if I fucking care. Like, I don't care enough. I can't even think of what I'm going to eat for breakfast tomorrow. And it's the same fucking thing every single day. Like,
And if something's in bad shape, it wasn't meant to stay.
Yeah,
Like
it-
it,
like-
it was time to go.
it's like what will be. Life happens for you, not to you, and you just figure it out when you get there. What do you think? What do you have for predictions? You have first female president.
Yeah, well, I think that there's going to be a lot more automation. I mean, it's what we talked about. I think the way we see business today is going to change. And it's going to be a lot more relational and quality. And what I mean by that is you're really going to have to care about what you're doing in order for your business to be successful. I think the stuff that's just these fly by night businesses, get rich quick kind of things, I think they're going to fade away. I don't think that those things are going to last.
Yeah.
So stuff that lasts is going to be stuff that really means something because you're making a difference in somebody else's life or you're somehow adding value to other people.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot more of that.
I think if you're providing a quality product that shortens the time that it takes to get that quality product at a good even great price, you describe business. That's just how it's going to be. I think more and more things are going to move to that, and maybe that's just business and how it's always been. So I'm not saying anything prolific or amazing or awe-inspiring. It's just that's just how it's going to be.
And we're just going to get there faster than we have in the past.
Yeah,
because we have the capability of moving so much faster now.
Yeah, the timeline is exponential now. Absolutely. What do you think? So as we're moving forward into this potentially scary, terrifying future where we're all dead, everything sucks, and AI runs our lives, what do you have? What advice do you have? What do I have to do? Do I have to go back and kill Skynet?
I don't know what that means.
Oh my God, you don't?
No,
Holy
but
shit.
I kind of laughed at myself for the fact that I didn't know. I'm like, am I going to admit this right now?
That's amazing. Oh God, you're like my wife with just the movie reference. Skynet was the robot uprising in Terminator, by the way. All of the Terminators.
I definitely don't know about that.
Holy crap. We got to get you. I got to just get you like a Netflix just movie-thon. We just watch all these old movies together, I could bring my wife too. It'll be like Mystery Theater 3000, which you don't even know what that is. Yeah. Oh God. God damn it. No. So dating my wife, we used to go to the movies and she would fall asleep every fucking movie.
I fall asleep all the time.
98% of my
I
jokes.
don't remember anything.
98% of my fucking jokes come from movies. So she doesn't get any of my jokes. It's terrible. It's awful. And we stopped going to the movies because she would fall asleep. And we call them Stephanie stars now. 4 stars for 1 star for each quarter of a movie that she stays awake.
Great.
She stays awake. That's 4 Stephanie stars. And we literally have not gone to the movies. I think we've been together this year 10 years. Yeah, I think it was 10 or 11 years now. I don't think we've been to the movies in 7 fucking years. It's been forever, literally.
Because otherwise you're just paying for a nap.
Otherwise, I'm paying $19 for her to nap and sleep through the whole damn thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, Stephanie stars. No,
I get
you guys can
really
go together.
excited. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
snuggle up together.
Seriously.
I mean, for as moms without much sleep right now, I'm sure we both would take you up on that offer.
Right, exactly.
Very, very.
Just put you in a dark room and let you sleep.
I will go pay $20 to sleep for 3 hours. Please let me do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it is pretty funny because if I do stay awake, I'm like, oh, I deserve a cookie. I deserve ice cream. I did it. I stayed awake the whole time.
That's funny. No, we haven't gone to the movies because of that, but that's 99% of my jokes, and they all fall flat. I mean, we went into, when we were first dating, we walked into Target, and it was during Christmas time, and they had all these little Yodas with Christmas hats on. And she's like, oh, look at all the little Grinches. I'm like, fucking hell. This is awful. Yeah, that's how bad it is.
Mini Grinch.
That's how bad it is. It's just,
great.
Exactly. So now I know you don't watch any of these movies either.
No, I would know the Yoda one.
That's terrible.
Maybe not anything else. So basic advice that I could give with where we're headed and headed to death. I think learning as much as possible. And this is not just advice for where we're headed, but this is just good life advice. I feel like become more valuable as an employee, as a CEO, along your life. It's to create better versions of yourself so you can add more value to the people that are around you. So when we talk about AI and where that might lead us to if it takes over the world someday, I mean, if you continue to educate yourself and become of value, you don't ever have to worry about a robot taking over your position.
Yeah, they'll just use you as a pet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just have to worry about Yeah, them using you as a pet. That's not what I was going to say, but my mind went there after. But it's like continue to be unique and create that value and learn and grow. And you just, AI is never going to get to that place.
Yeah.
Because you do still have the human component. And so we have more available to us. So using AI to benefit your growth is wise. And then making sure you create as much value as you can for the people you're working with and for. And, it's quality life anyway, but you never have to worry about those things.
That's 100% right. I mean, I tell my staff we tell our staff, Brent and I, our job is to find someone better than you to replace you. And your job is to make that impossible. And we've got phenomenal fucking people that I couldn't think of replacing. But we're always looking for somebody who's at next level and the next level and the next level type person, which is just going to elevate us all. And if you're doing that in your business, if you're becoming that next level person, that next level business, that next level customer service, you're going to stay around for a very, very, very long time. And you're always innovating and you're providing the best new services, etc. You are going to stay. You're going to stick and you're going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So guys, be fucking relevant, innovate, improve yourselves, and you won't be taken over by evil robot overlords. That's pretty much all.
Or mini Grinches.
Yeah, or mini Grinches. Yep, that's all I have to say about that.
They definitely need to make sure they're checking you out, though. All joking aside, on your website, because you have a bunch of free courses and super valuable content that they're going to get a lot of information from. So where can they find that?
Yeah, they can find that at dralexpinoso.com/courses. Check it out, guys. Any questions you have, always email us questions at dralexpinoso.com. Amanda appreciates you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening, all 17 of you, and have a good one, guys.